What's up, everybody? I'm on Lower East Side. I'm going to 26th and 10th on the West Side. Just got to check an intercom for a building that's out. It's for a NYCHA building. It's a New York City housing. I do a lot of these service calls for the city. They're decent. I think I'll just take 23rd across. I got my balaclava on, but it's like cold. The air coming through it, like it's really cold tonight. It's like 26 degrees. So I'll just shoot over to the west side on 23rd, get what I need to get, and then tomorrow I gotta go get some SIM cards for some other housing sites for the fire panels, because all these fire panel phone lines are being disconnected. So the days of analog lines are pretty much gone. They're just going to be wired into panels via cellular radios and stuff like that just mimic a phone line, because the days of Verizon maintaining analog lines are pretty much over. They put a lot of it through FiOS, but for the most part it's going to be over. Man, it's fucking cold. 26 degrees. Holy crap. This is like pushing the limits of what the KLR is comfortable with. But it's not bad. I mean, this is still reasonable. But anything colder than 20, a little too much. Like the KLR, it starts to struggle on the clutch and stuff like that. Like when it gets, I've driven it down to 18, 17, but that's just not, it's better just take the day off, because the bike really just doesn't like it. It struggles. I would imagine though, if I change the oil, it'd be interesting to hear from some other riders from really cold areas, because people ride motorized vehicles and similar in design, 4-cycle. It must have to do with the oil they put in it. Got to put a thinner oil so that the engine can lubricate properly during startup. And I think that's where you can hear the KLR struggling the most. And then the other thing is the KLR, I don't know, it seems like it runs cold until it does heat up, and then the thermostat opens up and it starts flowing with sharply cold coolant. So I don't know how good that is either. But you can tell it definitely runs cold compared to other motorcycles I've driven. The XR runs actually perfect, but it's an air-cooled bike. So I don't know how you could compare the two, because you really can't. I like the, to be honest, my favorite bike actually is the XR. But this KLR never lets me down, so it's just big. It's kind of big, you know, like but it's a must during the winter. You have to I have to use this. Like, there's no question. I already know that I'm going to be using this from December all the way up to March. Like, I already know that. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be using this. But the real question is, like, what do you find to be, like, I find the XR to be almost like riding a nice mountain bike, or like a beefy mountain bike, fat tire bike with a motor on it. Whereas the KLR is a real motorcycle. Like, it's like driving a motorcycle. You can't compare it to like a beefy mountain bike that you could lug around. Like, if you grab a hold of this bike from the back wheel and try to manhandle it, you can feel the weight of it. It's not a light bike, but being planted in the wintertime is good, so you can't fault it for that. It gives you a very planted feel. This is actually the time of year in New York where you really get to dig down deep and get your ducks in order. Like, this bike helps me to do that because it starts up when it needs to. It has the fairings, wind protection. Stator's pretty beefy, so it runs my heated grips. That's the intercom right there. Yeah, that's the intercom I gotta check out. So I'll probably park the bike over here somewhere. Man, they fucking park. Look how tight people park here. There's like zero space. And you wonder why. I had someone come up to me the other day, though. Some security guard. He just moved in the area. He was over by the airport, and I had a service call, and I pushed the bike into a tight spot like this. Well, I wouldn't consider this a tight spot, but he came up to me and he was like, "What gives you the right to park that way?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, I've never seen a motorcycle park between cars like that, like this. And I said, "Wait a minute, where are you from, man?" And he said, "Oh, I'm from the Midwest." And I said, "Wow, man. Well, you just got here, so I'm gonna just clue you in. This is like the way you park a motorcycle. Matter of fact, if you parked your bike straight like that and took up a whole car spot, people would drag your bike and reposition it, might even drop it, in order to make space for a car." So I said, that's why you park a motorcycle the proper way like this. If you don't park it this way, you're gonna come back and find your bike dragged all over the place. And a matter of fact, even if you do park it this way, like the way I'm parked right now, if by chance this car moved out and then a car needed more space, and then that car was up, other car was smaller, you're damn right they would move it. I was seeing like drag marks from my kickstand where people have moved it. You know, and anybody moving a KLR, I gotta give all the power to them, man. If you want to move it, go ahead, as long as they don't drop it. I did come back and find my XR knocked over one time, and the kickstand was bent. I had to bend it back again, but it was bent pretty bad. I think somebody knocked it over, backed into it, and then pushed the they pushed the kickstand. Alright, everybody, I think I'll just kill this video. I'm going to check this intercom here in the building. It's a New York City housing building. I just got to make sure, see what the status is of it. I'm not actually fixing it today. But I have to check it. See if it's even working. Well, I'll bring you guys with me just to check. So, let's see. I'll just call one of the apartments. Volume. Yeah, oh yeah, this is made by Kerry Systems. Line in use or no answer. Okay. I think there is a problem with the phone line. Alright. Well, I'll see everybody in the next one.